Down a little. Thank you. Are we on yet?
Should be.
Something looks different about my screen.
Let me come check.
Does that look right to you? It's like normally my comments come in at the bottom. Now I guess they're coming in at the top. Or 84612.
Yeah, they should come in right there.
They should come in
They
what?
should come in from the bottom one. Maybe
I just no. Normally they go up. Something about the screen looks different, and that's
you
what I.
know what? You don't have all the. You're not signed in to where you can change things. You're not signed into the admin.
All I did was hit the restream.
Yeah, I guess when it asked to log in, it wanted you to log back in. But we didn't log you in.
Oh, okay.
So now
I need.
Yes. Which today you don't need it because I'm here. Well, if you want to fix it now, but I'd have to. Tell
Are you
the
sure?
password.
Yeah, because I need to see how many people I can't see any of that stuff.
Right. So then what you're gonna do is, if you leave, your audio is gonna go. But you're gonna have to log in to Restream as the producer. So, but if you leave, like, it's gonna take the show. Well, everybody else see
I
a
can't
blank
see
screen.
who's watching and who's not.
Right. And that's where you have to be logged in. So yeah,
Never
okay.
mind.
So open a new tab and then sign in on that one. Then close that tab out, maybe. That's gonna log in. See. Oh, there you go. There you go. Now click. Yep. That should just click sign in.
But I'd like to. Do you know what that password?
I do
is?
know what that is.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. This works out because there you go. Now close the other tab before you. Okay. Oh, what happened? Before you enter, close the other tab.
Close that one
Yep.
there.
Close that one. Now click leave. Yep. Now go back to the other tab. Click enter. Now I'm gonna have to put it back in.
Okay. Hey guys, good morning. Welcome into the show before the show. Glad you're with us today. Glad you're with us, guys. Like, subscribe, share the show, let people know. Share it with at least one person. We are grateful for that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show before the show. It is Thursday, February 20th. Glad you're with us. Hey guys, glad you're with us today. Welcome in. How can I send stars like you used to? That was down. We'll try to do that. I'll talk to Alex about getting that back up. We had some issues with that. We are grateful that you would even ask to try to send stars. We were also just asking if people did anything or tried to help us out. If it was easier, nice 2 degrees, to donate to cancel this show, where you did it on PayPal or Venmo, or you just go to our website, canceltheshow.com, and there's links right there as well. We're grateful. And I know I don't want to say it all the time, but it's how we start to go. Trying to teach advertisers in the St. Louis area about how we do and how podcasting is there, and the good news and the good shows that we produce. So if you can help out in any way, we're grateful. Absolutely grateful. It's not easy. We put a lot of time in. And we make money by trying to sell products. That's how we do it. I mean, we don't have people just giving us money. And it's our time and effort and all the money. So thank you for bringing that up.
By the way, that Rumble thing didn't work. I had to put it in manually again.
Yeah, bummer.
And what's really weird is ever since we got taken down by NBC that one day, now it only says on Facebook sending data. However, we're up on Facebook. Like I can go in and but it doesn't show up on our numbers either. The numbers that you can see that we just, like, Facebook doesn't show up.
Yeah, I have to go to it individually.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's going on with Facebook.
It was doing that though before.
Was it?
Yes, it did that before that incident happened.
Which, after, us getting taken down that day, NBC undoes the block or whatever they had because they...
Yeah, the video's back.
Yeah, when we disputed it, we won. However, we got cut off early that day because of it.
On Facebook.
No censorship, my ass.
I know. Hey guys, appreciate you jumping in with us today. Get everybody rocking and rolling, ready to go. Eric may be in. We'll see how that happens. What happens with that today? We are just grateful that you guys are with us. Welcome into the show, everybody. It is Thursday. Yep, that's him. Okay. Couple things. Hey, I just sent you another soundbite with Trump about Zelensky and money. This is, we'll call this the airplane sound.
I think we already had that one.
No, that was gold. The other time when he's on the airplane is gold. He's talking about gold. Polls. Oh my God. I like Fox News because it's the best we have, but man, I don't know. With Rupert Murdoch's son taking over, who's a liberal, who knows what's going to happen. Some of the stuff Fox News does just blows my mind. It's their web team. They're just bad. All right, Joe, we can go ahead and start the show, my friend. Hey guys, welcome into canceltheshow.com. It is Thursday, February 20th. We're glad you were with us. Please like, subscribe, share the show. Let people know what we're up to right now. If you share it, more people can watch and see what we do here. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays from around 9 to 10-ish. We'll see how long it goes sometimes. We just have so much fun. There's so much to get to in that time that we go over just a little bit. We are grateful when you do that. Remember, if there's any advertisers, we offer a great plan. Let us know. Let us know, Vic at canceltheshow.com. Not only do we give shouts out for businesses, but you get to come in here and do a live interview with us as well, at least once a month. And we give that video back to you that you can use for video marketing. It makes so much sense. And we, of course, are appreciative for any donations. Anything helps. Hopefully we can continue to do what we're doing here. And you guys are the ones who make that happen for us. You're the reason we come in. Facebook, X, Rumbles, where you can watch us live, and YouTube. And then, of course, you can catch the information that we post as well. We are here. Donald Trump is still president. We have something to feel good about when it comes to that. Lots going on. Donald Trump getting tough on Ukraine. Somebody has to, right? After all of the time that we have sat back and watched all the money and don't even know where half of it is, allegedly. Trump getting tough on them. Zelensky trying to act tough on America. Liberals looking for anything they possibly can to, oh, he's so bad. By the way, remember I talked about attorneys and a couple of attorneys who I know they lose their man cards when you're a liberal. If you're a liberal man, you lose your man card. You do. There's no masculinity in your blood whatsoever. I saw two of them they post daily. They're like so angry. I mean, they're just that anger. It's that evil spirit that is upon them, the evil spirit of pride. I talked about that on Tuesday. Sure enough, Wednesday, and then early this morning, I get to see those posts coming out. Have you seen the new clone robotics? Very, very scary. We'll talk about that. Liberals trying to blame plane crashes on Trump, of course. More excerpts from the amazing interview with Donald Trump and Elon Musk with Sean Hannity. Love seeing that. Democrats now also coming straight out and telling you what they're trying to do in Florida, which is why this immigration situation was so bad and why the deportation efforts by Donald Trump and his crew are so important, not only right now, but for future elections, as we have talked about so many darn times. Doge continues to expose. No wonder the liberals hate it. The only people yelling and screaming about it are the ones who have their money getting cut off. Literally, that's what's happening. And is Donald Trump ready, absolutely ready, to take care of the IRS, to defeat the IRS? We'll see what happens with that as well. Okay, let's jump right in right now when it comes to what Donald Trump is trying to do with Ukraine and with little Zelensky, man. He's made it clear, and this is a montage of a bunch of bites with Trump and Zelensky, and what Trump is saying Zelensky needs to do, has to do, what he is about. Trump was saying this during a press conference yesterday in Miami, breaking down everything that is and was Ukraine. This is Donald Trump is trying to negotiate peace with Russia. Zelensky, of course, angry. I want to be there. No, Donald Trump knows how to make things happen. He's talking to one side. He's supposed to talk to Ukraine today. Sometimes you have to deal with people alone, and then you can come together. And when that happens, then you can start to get some progress. Zelensky says he wants peace. It's a Trump soundbite that's a blue background, Joe. It's a big blue background. There's only one of them. So Trump now talking with Ukraine, literally having to say, listen, this guy is a dictator, and literally putting things in perspective. Donald Trump is having to take care of this as he said he would. Now everything has its time. And now he is making things happen. And I think Ukraine is realizing what is happening. And by the way, Trump lays it all out right here.
But think of it, a modestly successful comedian. President Zelensky talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that basically couldn't be won. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed. They get their money back. It's a form of a loan. Nobody knows that. I know that. I said, why isn't somebody saying, we do it the same way? And we spent much more money. We have to equalize. But while the United States gets nothing back, so they get their money back. It's a loan. We just give our money. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast, or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast, because that war is going in the wrong direction. In the meantime, we're successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia, something all admit that only Trump is going to be able to do in the Trump administration. We're going to be able to do it. I think Putin even admitted that.
Okay, you get the idea when it comes to Donald Trump and what he's trying to do right now with Zelensky. Zelensky is like that spoiled little kid who's used to getting everything that he wants or that they want. And then all of a sudden, mom and dad go, no, you know what? You're a little brat. You're done. You got to learn some discipline. And now he doesn't even know what the hell to do. From the chat line, Jeannie says, we're not even helping the war. We're paying for them to rebuild after this stupid war. And we're not getting the money back. Their money has been cut off, and he is pissed because he doesn't know what the hell is happening. From the chat line, Michael says, this guy's a pro-Putin sympathizer. Pretty disgusting and un-American. I disagree. Once again, this war shouldn't have started in the first place, and you can thank Joe Biden for that. Now, Donald Trump is the one that has this thrown into his lap, and he's trying to take care of it as best as possible. The other problem with that, Michael, with your comment is the fact that you can just make a blanket statement, and that's fine, and you're allowed to, but you need to dive into the facts. And this show is about facts, not feelings, facts, not fiction. The problem is the fact that we have supported Ukraine, and we don't even know where half the money is. And Zelensky even said, we don't know where the money is. So if you're going to complain and talk about pro this and pro that, you need to go back to the start and how it began under Biden and where all that money is. And it went, because we can't just go fund freaking wars for one side or the other. We have to take care of it. We have to clean up the trash, clean up the mess. That's what Donald Trump is doing, and he's doing it swiftly. And if you are looking at it unbiased, you will see that more progress has been made in a week than has been made in the last few years. It's because of Donald Trump, and he knows how to get things done. And that's why I can't, from the chat line, yeah, I'm done with his little ass. Don't forget that Boris Johnson had a hand in blowing up the peace treaty at the very beginning of the war. The Americans pushed the darn war, and that was under Biden. So Donald Trump is doing what he needs to do, the art of the deal.
That's right.
And I wouldn't call him a pro-Putin sympathizer. Donald Trump is a pro-peace president.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between him and Biden, Obama,
Yes.
Bush,
Yes.
that's the difference. So, yeah, we're grateful,
Yes.
absolutely grateful that we have Donald Trump doing that. Eric Johnson in. Good morning, Eric.
Hi.
Just ran sound, my friend, with Mr. Trump
Yes.
talking about it's time to cut off this
I
Zelensky
heard.
stuff. Yeah, you guys hear Eric, our star Eric is in, and we are grateful that
Let's
he
not
is
go
in.
crazy.
He is our star.
Let's not go nuts.
So somebody said, oh, he's a pro-Putin sympathizer. That was a comment, and you're allowed. We love it. We love to get different opinions.
So you have to look at it through Trump's mind. Okay. He steadfast, and I guarantee you he talks about it at every single cocktail party he's at. If I was in there, this stupid war would have never have happened.
Correct.
Russia's doing I think Russia thought they were going to win this thing in 24 hours. Then you had Zelensky pushing back and kind of pushing him off. And then you had the United States in this insane, just let's throw money at the problem. Again, Trump thinks this is stupid because he thinks he could have fixed this from the beginning.
Of course.
And now you have Zelensky, who is probably behind the scenes saying, no, we want all of our country. Well, you know what, dude?
That's not going to happen.
You know what, dude? The United States voted for a pansy like Joe Biden. They
Mhm.
basically let Russia walk right on in for whatever reason. I mean, can you imagine Trump seeing those tanks lined up outside of Ukraine if he was president, saying, yeah, come on in. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You think that Trump wouldn't be going, Putin, if you even step 1 foot into there.
But there's a whole history before that happened as well when it came to NATO. And that's why we need to get the hell out of NATO, because we're funding NATO on top of it. And NATO hasn't done anything for us, and it doesn't help the
And
United
that's
States.
the problem, is even pundits. Yeah, I mean, there's the Sean Hannitys and there's the Hughes, and there are the people who are really good at foreign policy. I'm not one of them. And guess what? 300 million other Americans are not great at foreign policy. And there are nuances in this thing. And Trump is right. I'm not saying that you have to say, all right, Putin, you keep what you have and you guys keep what you have.
Yeah.
There needs to be a negotiation. But Trump at least is coming in there with like saying, you're not going to get a stream of money anymore. It's not, we can't even do it.
Well, Trump also here's another comment that he made, or he's been talking a lot about it with reporters, and he has to, because Zelensky is literally the little guy who was moderately funny, as Trump said, as a comedian, who is a dictator. Remember who Zelensky is. Zelensky is the same guy who's trying to use the war to say, we can't have elections. He's not very popular in this country.
Well, in his defense,
some people,
Winston Churchill didn't have elections either during World War II.
That's a good point. But here's the other problem, is the fact that he's done it for 2 years. And when it comes to elections, if you're so great and you're such the hero, why not?
I agree, but
why not?
But imagine the time shift.
Because of the money. It's the money train, the gravy train.
It is, and I can see his side. Is that you're touring around a bombed out Ukraine, right? Trying to get votes at the same time you're trying to keep the Russians at bay. I mean, there is something a little bit weird in that.
Yeah,
and maybe it's up to the people to take it up. I don't know, but that is like the least of the
Mitch
problems.
wanted me to remind you of something that we talked about before in the show. The reason, Eric, about the comment is that Russia actually owns that land that they occupy legally.
Maybe. I don't know.
And
see,
then,
that's just it. Is I just don't know how that kind of world policy works.
well,
I don't know.
Here's Trump again, putting things in perspective when it comes to the little guy, Zelensky.
Can you resurrect that deal? Is there anything that you can do?
I think I'm going to resurrect it. You know, we'll see what happens, but I'm going to resurrect it, or things are not going to make him too happy. And look, it's time for elections. Haven't had an election in a long time. It's wonderful to say, you know, we can't have an election, but it's time for elections. And it's also time to find out what happened with all the money, because he made the statement that half of it, he doesn't know where it is or something like that. And I'd like to find out all the money that we've been sending to Ukraine, where is it? And I can tell you we're doing very well with Russia. We're going to do something with Russia that he was unable to do. We can make a deal with Russia to stop the killing of, you know, potentially additional millions of people. The soldiers are being just wiped out on both sides, wiped out. It's horrible. You know, the weaponry today is so powerful, so, you know, strong, that it's killing a lot of soldiers. And I don't want to see they're Russian and they're Ukrainian. I don't want to see those soldiers killed. They have mothers and fathers. They have sisters and brothers. I don't want to see.
Yeah, that's a perfect point. We don't.
Nobody does, but there's all kinds of conflicts around the world that we can't fund, and
we shouldn't be funding this one.
We really shouldn't. And we're the big dog on the corner, and you don't hear anything from the Europeans. I'm sure they are, but you don't hear anything. It's always about our money going to them. And someone who on the chat line just said, it's not really money going to Zelensky. Zelensky doesn't go to the mailbox and see a check for $100 billion. That's not how it works. It's like, we are going to give you $100 billion. Oh, but we're not going to give it to you. We're going to go to Boeing and to Lockheed Martin and all these weapon companies, and we're going to send stuff over to you. Oh, yeah. And then the fuel that is going to take us to get all of this equipment to you. So it's not like, you know, the Ukrainians are benefiting from cash. It's basically that our industrial complex is going to work for them. And that's the truth. That is the truth.
The money that we gave, lots of the money that we gave, donated, taxpayer money, was funneled through various causes. They don't know where the money is because it was intended to be that way.
Correct. And that's the garbage that Doge is trying to peck out.
Exactly. And you can thank your Democrats for that, starting with one Joe Biden.
Man, I'll tell you what, the deep state is nothing like I thought it was going to be. This is all about money in little pockets of the government.
It's over.
And they're, you know what I mean?
And that's why all of these people yelling about what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing, they're angry because their money train, the gravy train, has been canceled.
Did you think
it's over?
When you heard,
and more's to come?
I know. When you remember when you would hear deep state? First of all, you'd hear deep state. And you would go, there's no such thing as a deep state. That's conspiratorial talk. And that was probably back in the 90s, I guess, 80s or 90s. And you go, no, there's a deep state. And then you got closer to it and you started to realize, well, maybe there is a little bit of fishiness. Maybe this little shadow government is at least influential in policy. Now today, we are really we are opening the hood and we're looking at all the brown recluse spiders underneath there. And we got to get rid of them all.
But more and more there's a lot of them, and they multiply by like the thousands. They're like Democrats. You called them army ants?
Sometimes, yeah, the army ants coming at you. And now they're not army ants anymore. They're just not, because back in the day, the army ants,
they're cockroaches.
Yes. Back in the day,
that's
the army
new symbol of the DNR.
The Democrats used to me, they didn't win discussions.
Good morning, everybody.
They didn't win discussions by one person, one great voice. Not like Ronald Reagan or Barack Obama. They were starting to win discussions by millions of people saying the same thing.
What'd you say about Obama?
Obama could win a discussion.
As long as he
win a debate.
As long as he had a prompter, yeah.
He beat the crap out of Mitt Romney.
That was
he beat the
one
crap
of the
out,
worst rhinos in the history of this country when it comes to getting votes.
He beat the crap out of John McCain.
God.
He beat the crap out of John McCain. I understand.
I mean,
I'm understanding you, but you have to understand there was a day in this country when you had a Bill Clinton who could be more.
I love you, man.
He could be more charismatic than his competition.
Yeah, no,
right?
I get it. That's true. That's
now you don't have that. You just have a bunch of idiots like Chuck Schumer that have millions of idiots behind them.
He done. How much more is left to uncover? Donald Trump talking about that as well. And he lets you know things without telling you, but he's telling you that he knows, and you're going to find out very soon. Once again, his conference yesterday in Miami was outstanding. Here he is talking about what's to come.
And here are just a few examples of where your money was going before I came along. These are just some of just taken at random. Oh, there are much worse examples than this. I was just looking at them before the speech, and I can tell you they were much worse. And there are some that are horrible, but I don't want to really say them because they're very, very embarrassing to people. Very, very embarrassing. And they're really something, but you'll be seeing it and you will be reading about it. But just some taken at random. $2 million for sex change operations in Guatemala, $20 million for sesame, and here
sesame seed oil.
Yeah.
Trump
Thank
is
you,
so
Donald
quiet.
Trump.
If
Thank you, Elon Musk.
If I had a stopwatch, I would love to know what the ratio of Elon talking in that Sean Hannity interview
Yeah, we got a couple
to
clips.
Trump. Trump just stays quiet now.
Behind
the scenes.
No, but he stays quiet on purpose.
Someone behind the scenes is saying, here's how we're going to win this thing.
Nobody's telling Donald Trump what to do.
I think someone's saying, you're doing a great job being quiet. Have you seen him go after CNN?
No, he has. Why?
Have you seen him go after MSNBC?
No, but you know what though, Eric?
That's what he did in the last term.
No, but now you're right. But here's the thing: why do you ever acknowledge somebody who's below you? Because people who are below you and like nipping at your heels and like pecking at you, they want you to acknowledge them so you bring them up to your level, your status.
Yeah,
they're trash. They're like the little snake ant.
Yeah.
You just step on them.
Yeah.
He's got no time for those trash. But I mean, that's the trash. He's walking through the trash.
And another thing about Trump is that, and that I just learned, is this Zelensky thing. You're seeing how his transparency actually works. He is there to help.
Hell yeah.
He is in his mind.
And there's still Democrats who are trying to rip him, Eric.
I know. In his mind, he's actually trying to help Zelensky. But when you say that you have a problem with him talking directly with Russia in public, whatever that was, that's what pisses him off.
2 days ago, JD Vance said Zelensky's going to find out.
Yeah, that you should have just shut your
You should have
face.
shut your mouth. That when you call out the president who's
Yeah.
trying to help you,
you're
gonna pay a price.
exactly.
So Zelensky, he's that little dude that,
Yeah.
He's the little spoiled brat kid.
Yeah.
That went from getting nothing, and then all of a sudden, grandma showed up and started giving him all
Yeah.
the things he wanted, and then he was taken back to his parent, his daddy, because Donald Trump is his daddy.
Yeah.
And America is Ukraine's daddy. It's time to get responsible and be disciplined.
Here's the way you should look at it. You ever see Napoleon Dynamite? You ever see when Napoleon gets his ass kicked by that kid out in the school lot when he's
Yes.
getting his bike, and then all of a sudden the two Mexican cartel guys drive up and just look at the bully and just shake their head, and he runs away. That's the situation. Putin is not going to listen to Napoleon Dynamite, who is Ukraine. They're beating the crap out of him already. They're like, we're just beating your ass every day. And the way Russia
Mhm.
wins is by attrition. They don't ever stop. They're like a pit bull. They just keep coming at you,
Yeah,
right?
It's
So you have to have them. You have to have the Pedros of the world that just kind of look at you and go, mm-mm.
well, Trump's not going to let Russia crush Ukraine. He's not.
And Russia
and-
doesn't want to crush
and they
Ukraine.
don't want to
Russia
crush
doesn't
Ukraine.
want
That
that.
is a lie from the liberal democratic evildoers who try to say that to try to start crap. From the chat line, Vance has been doing some of Trump's messaging and he's been doing great. Yes, I agree. You ever hit any sweet jumps on that bike?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's funny.
That Trump is literally the guy that's just, he could wave Putin off in so many ways. But you know what? Putin's going to get something, whether it's a train line straight down Ukraine to the ocean so that he can transport his goods, whether it's taking back there are places that he's taking that are Russian people. Like literally there are people that are like, I don't think I'm Ukrainian. I think I'm more Russia, but I happen to be in Ukraine. I have no idea how this negotiation is going to go, but there is no way in hell that's like, game's off, everybody leave and go back to your corners.
It's going to end soon. Donald Trump is going to manufacture peace. He's going to make sure that it happens like he said he was. The liberal media won't cover it. They'll find something to yell about because they don't want their pride to be hurt. And there will be peace because this is a peace president that we're seeing.
And you know what? Here's the other thing about Trump. The outcome is nothing. Trump is like, it's like watching The Sixth Sense. You watch the entire movie, and then at the end of the movie, the outcome is like, I didn't see that one coming. I mean, like the Gaza thing. We're taking over Gaza. We're going to build hotels. I didn't see that one coming. So Ukrainian, you're like, you're doing
nobody
what?
saw Elon coming, and nobody saw Doge, and nobody saw Trump doing interviews with Elon. But the last two nights with Sean Hannity have been absolutely amazing. It's must-see TV when you look at Donald Trump and you allow Elon. And Elon has shown us a different side as well, which has been absolutely fantastic. And I love the fact that Donald Trump shows that not only is he humble, he allows the people that he's put in positions to do their job. He knows how to delegate, and he has put fantastic people in place. Here's Elon explaining some of the situations that are going on right now.
If we address the massive deficit spending, the sort of the waste in the government, then we can actually address inflation. So provided the economy grows faster than the money supply, which means you stop the government overspending and the waste, and the output of real useful goods and services exceeds the increase in the money supply, you have no inflation. Yeah. And you also drop the interest payments that people pay, because if the government
way
keeps,
too high.
Yes, the reason the interest payments are so high is because the national debt keeps increasing. So the government is competing to sell debt with the private citizens. This drives up the interest rate. So if you cut back on the deficit, you actually have an amazing situation for people, because you get rid of inflation and you drop the interest rates. And that means people's mortgage payments go down, their credit card payments go down, their car payments go down, their student loans go down, everything, their life becomes more affordable. And
He is a genius. From the chat
Econ
line.
101. Not this
Thank
is
you.
not Keynesian economics. This is not Marxist. This isn't socialist garbage. This is just truth. This is like nature. This is like a tree is green. And you go, oh no, whoa.
Tanya from the chat line says JD Vance is the president. Next go around, Elon Musk is VP. Nah, that'd be funny, but he's not a VP type of guy.
I tell you what, there's something in Elon I see in presidential quality.
No doubt.
I do. I'm not kidding. There's something that feels like he's separated.
I don't see him as a leader. I see him as somebody.
He's putting people on Mars.
No, exactly. I see him as he's a great.
Do you not
side
see
piece.
like a Steve Jobs as a leader? Do you not see
not for politics? No.
Politics are dead?
No.
Hey, Vic, the days of politics, the days of the Mitt Romney,
we needed
the
a guy,
days of
yes, those are dead.
JFK's are over.
At least if you want a government that's going to operate efficiently, you need somebody. You need a businessman to do it.
Vic, that's the point. JFK was all facade.
Hey, if he was our
Right?
president, I'd be fine. I just don't.
He
think
was kind of a badass. He had the Bay of Pigs thing.
the problem is the fact that anybody after Donald Trump, if this continues, is going to be a little bit of a letdown. It is. It will be.
It can't be because it needs to be
He's
the
the
new
best
norm.
ever.
It needs to be the
Yes,
new norm.
it needs to be
because this is.
but it's impossible to replace Michael Jordan with Michael Jordan.
But imagine the spotlight now. Imagine if both candidates had to come into the ring next time, and the Republicans are going to go, "We're just going to keep doing what he was doing."
Donna says he's an advisor. What a great analogy. He
Exactly,
is. He's an amazing.
It's a great analogy.
Innovation in his strength, one of the greatest minds of our time. And yeah, that's why we thank God for him. Here's another comment or another piece from that interview, which was just fantastic. 2 nights ago, they were talking about how the left is losing their mind with EDS. And then, of course, now Elon explaining everything that's happening with what they're doing in his position.
Why this rage against you now? First they hated him, now they hate both of you.
Well, I think we're seeing an antibody reaction from those who are receiving the wasteful and fraudulent money.
They're being exposed.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be exposed with your
I'll tell you a lesson I learned at PayPal. You know who complained the loudest, and the quickest and the loudest and with the most amount of righteous indignation? The fraudsters. That's who complained first, loudest, and they would generally have this immense overreaction. That's how we knew they were the fraudsters. Mm-hmm. That's how we knew. That's to tell.
It's exactly
It's
right.
exactly right.
Who's going to scream the loudest when you're grounded? Is it going to be the good kid that you have, the one that doesn't do anything wrong, or is it going to be the kid that's always jumping out of the window at midnight to go see the boyfriend? It's going to be the one that's you're grounded. They're going to be screaming, hollering, kicking, throwing plates while the other kid's in the other room doing his homework, getting ready for medical school. I mean, it's that he's absolutely right. That's just nature. We're just talking about natural law here.
It really is a fascinating subject.
There's nothing political about any of this garbage. Elon Musk is. Thank you,
Sean Hannity and Fox, for doing that interview. Even though I'm pissed at why the hell? By the way, not to get off track, Fox News. Why are you putting up poll results from CNN? That scares me about Fox. I'm just going to say that right now. Fox does a pretty damn good job.
They have to.
No, they don't.
Fair and balanced.
Not from the
Maybe they are, Vic.
not from the network. They're like trying to lift CNN. CNN is a piece of trash. Their anchors are trash. Their leadership is trash. Their ratings are trash. Their content is trash.
Yeah.
Fox News posted Donald Trump has 47% favorability and 52% disapproval rate. And I'm like, why or what? It's a CNN poll that Fox is showing. Wake up, Fox. But then again, Rupert Murdoch's son, who's a liberal, is taking over. So who knows? Anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. Whatever. But it's just good to see all the winning. And we continue to win. Once again, we talk about the golden age of America right now. Mm-hmm. And Doge exposing more. Speaking of Doge, also, this coming out, Stacey Abrams, that wonderful representative from Georgia, election denier, now Doge has found out that $2 billion in taxpayers' money was earmarked for her groups, and that is coming out now. Stacey, $2 billion of taxpayer money going to Stacey Abrams groups. So once again, Donald Trump said this is the deportation of illegals and Doge. It's an absolutely amazing time to be an American right now to see this stuff come out. The transparency.
This is a story of deep state, and it is completely not like I thought it was. I always thought
You're waking up.
Well, it's not about waking up, because you can sit here all morning long if you want to and talk about what they keep uncovering, which is awesome. I think we need to do that. But at some point, that 30,000-foot breakdown of what the deep state actually was, where the tentacles went, because here's the deal. The tentacles kind of always found their way to a senator for some reason. Some of the tentacles found their way over here to the congressman. Probably not a lot not a lot to the judges. I don't know. But here's the deal, is every tentacle, like, let's just say Amy Klobuchar was about the Department of Education. Well, that little tentacle probably made it to Amy, and Amy would probably fund those sources. And I always thought that the deep state was more CIA underbelly stuff, Department of Defense underbelly stuff, the guys with the hoo-ha. And I didn't realize that it was USAID guys, or I didn't think it was the Department of Education guys, or I didn't think it was,
how about the Department of
Treasury
Defense or the Pentagon?
Right. I didn't realize that it was like, oh my God, you're spending what on what? Well, who's getting rich on that? Yeah, exactly. Not foreign companies. American companies are. So conflict of interest, you want to spell out conflict of interest? There you go. And why do you think that I was always wondering, why do companies always support people or things that want to tax them more, become more socialized, or whatever it is? And why don't you want to be conservative with low tax rates and better business conditions? The reason is because through the back door is where they were getting all their money. And these non-government organizations, these NGOs, they might have been the worst on the planet. Just free money to do things that they said they're doing, like, oh, we'll figure out how to house immigrants, as they're taking probably most of the money in profit. Who knows? But the deep state, and here's really where it comes down to, Vic. Elon Musk said it last night. You either want a bureaucracy or a democracy. It has no, that's it. You either want a bureaucracy or a democracy. And the leaders of the bureaucracies are the Democrats in the Senate.
They exactly are. But guess what? Donald Trump's going to continue to change things. And God knows
I hope he does it quiet like he's doing.
He's
like
trying.
Stealth.
But, well, the IRS is going away. Here's Commerce Secretary Lutnick talking about it. He did this interview. I think it was with with Jesse Waters, maybe? I don't know. We'll see it here in a second. But literally explaining what's next.
And I'm telling you, you watch it, we're going to do it.
If you get savings from these Doge cuts, are you going to give any of this back to the American people? We keep hearing about these Doge dividends.
Well, think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue Service, and his goal is very simple. His goal is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service and let all the outsiders pay. I mean, this is someone who is focused on America. Let's drive down our waste, fraud, and abuse. I'll give you an example. Cruise ships. You ever see a cruise ship with an American flag on the back? They have flags of like Liberia or Panama. None of them pay taxes. None of them pay taxes. Every super tanker, none pays taxes. Alcohol, all foreign alcohol, no taxes. This is going to end under Donald Trump, and those taxes are going to be paid, and Americans' tax rates are going to come down. That's what Donald Trump wants to do. Balance our budget and cut our taxes. I mean, imagine a Democratic senator going against.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
it. I love it. I want to get rid of the IRS so bad because here's the deal. Have you ever seen a situation? Is that me?
No.
Anyway, is that a situation? Why can't the United States government? I'll look right at you, Projo, because you're a connoisseur of things. Why does the United States government? I'll look at both of you guys. Why does the United States government not work more like FedEx? Or an Amazon, or why can't the United States watch this? You get paid a check, and the government knows, hey, here's your bill for your taxes. But here's the other thing. I've never understood why the IRS was the only collection agency in the United States that could put your ass in jail if you didn't pay your bill.
Yeah.
Why can't Amazon come to your house
It's
or
changing.
Visa? Why can't Visa come
Because
to your
it was
house and do it?
intended
Huh?
to be that way. Now it's changing, Eric.
Really?
It's changing.
It needs to change,
Eric,
because this is garbage.
Trump is doing it.
The IRS is a 1930s concept.
It's another,
and it needs to go. And it's another weapon for the deep state to use against us.
of course,
It's
it is.
another weapon. If you don't want the sheriff coming out to your house, well, here's the Treasury Department. How about them? They have weapons as well.
You just can't trust anything. I mean, even and Elon brought up the fact of, well, we need to go check and see if there's gold at Fort Knox. Rand Paul the other day said we need to go check and make sure that all, what is it, 4,600 whatever pounds. Or Donald Trump did address that on the plane last night as he was making one of his visits and then leaving. And I love the fact that he even brought it up. It's one of those things too. Deep state. I hope all the gold's there.
Now, they're looking at everything. And are they going to put more national
They're looking at, we're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there. You know that? We're going to go into Fort Knox. You know about that? How is that bad, Bob?
Are they going to eliminate more national security positions, civilians there?
We'll see what happens. But one of the things we do want to look, I mean, we hope everything's fine with Fort Knox, but we're going to go to Fort Knox.
Just skipped right over her question.
To make sure the gold
I love it.
If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
That could be one of the worst things ever if they go to Fort Knox in the gold, which by the way, the gold isn't even we're not even on the gold standard anymore. But
it is curious. Why is he bringing this up? Why is Elon bringing this up? Why is Rand Paul bringing it up? They wouldn't be bringing it up unless there's some sort of information that has gotten back.
It's been a conspiracy theory that it's been gone for a while.
It's interesting that Trump is playing with it because we know every time he says something, he sends a message.
Yeah.
What is his message with sending that?
I think the message is that cavalry is around your corner at every moment. And if you are part of the government and you hold some kind of vital secrets, we're going to come and get your asses. Could you imagine being 20 years old in a t-shirt and probably an earring and probably play a lot of PS5 and being the one running around the country to uncover these secrets right now? Could you imagine being a Doge boy? Not a Doge man.
Yeah.
A Doge boy.
Mm-hmm.
And running around and every could you imagine? I mean, I thought it was cool when I was going around city to city playing rock and roll songs on a tour bus.
Just changing.
That's pretty cool.
So much is changing, which is incredible.
I mean, these guys that are in Doge right now, the book that they're going to write in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
How Doge destroyed the world.
Well, it's interesting that you're bringing it up now, too, because just wait till Kash Patel gets confirmed, because that's when the big bombs drop. And when you talk about deep state stuff, as you started to come in today, then you have people literally this morning, Adam Schiff, and we all know what he is about and has been. And now we find out that there's 256 emails between he and, Epstein.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You had 256 emails. And then now he's out saying that Kash Patel is somebody who can't be trusted, is a political hack who's going to weaponize his position against his enemies.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Kash Patel will bring out some of those things that you're talking about as well, Eric.
And they always talk about how Elon is this oligarch with billions of dollars. Are you more afraid of a guy that has $500 billion in his account that doesn't need your freaking cash? Or are you more afraid of a first-time senator coming into office of Barack Obama who has no money and trying to figure out how to game the system so that he can get some money in his pocket? Which one are you more afraid of? The guy that does not need your cash and just wants to save the country, or the guy that would like a little more cash that could use your money?
It's interesting, too, because when I hear liberals talk about, well, Elon's got access to our Social Security, and I started thinking to myself, okay, really?
Fantastic.
Who else do you give your Social Security number to?
Yeah.
Banks?
Yeah.
You give it to credit cards. You give it to
the
insurance
dark web
companies. You give it to medical agencies. You give your Social Security number to pretty much everybody. And by the way, we have seen data breaches out the what for several years. So I don't want to hear, he's got our Social Security. It's like, give me a break.
Yeah. to the people of the United States. There's no way that, I don't care if you love Trump, hate Trump, or you're so far left that your hair color is a totally different shade of purple that no one's ever. It doesn't matter. But when someone confronts you and says, "Hey, come over here, purple hair person with the 14 earrings, come over here. I got to talk to you real fast. Did you know that we're paying Social Security checks to 4 million people over the age of 100? What do you think about that, purple hair person?" And then just let them look at you in disarray for a while, because that's the thing, is there's no way to fight back against the facts. It's not political facts. They're natural facts. These are like what happens when you go to talk to a lawyer. They don't really pussyfoot around with they don't try to be political. It's like, this is how it is. Or when you go to an accountant, they're like, here are the numbers, fool. This is what you owe, or whatever it is. That's where we're at right now.
Well, by the way, the final vote to confirm Kash Patel happens today at about 1:45 Eastern time.
Go ahead and give me your prognostication.
Oh, he's going to be, of course.
You think so?
Hell yes, he's going in.
Okay.
And there's a reason why Schiff has been so hard against him. There's a reason why Illinois Congressman Dick Durbin, because they know they're trying to hide the theft and anything else that they have done as long as they possibly can. Tanya says, I saw an orange and yellow hair male yesterday. Oh, that's fine. That guy's in Eric's band.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen him.
We call him Sparky.
Yeah. He pulls his pants down a lot, of course.
They all do. Which one?
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Eric Johnson, Pro Joe behind the scenes. Democrats will continue to try to do anything and everything they can to go after Donald Trump. Case in point, Governor Hochul from New York is now telling New Yorkers to think about Trump the next time they're stuck in traffic because it's his fault. Plane crashes as well. Gayle King yesterday, this was funny. I mean, nobody watches her. Nobody watches CBS, but she literally had the CEO of Delta on trying to blame Donald Trump for plane crashes because there was another one yesterday. And the CEO of Delta quickly put her in her place. It just, they have... their brains, Eric. These liberals they're so angry and upset. They don't even realize it, how stupid they look. Case in point here.
The Trump administration recently fired many employees of the FAA administration. Do those cuts worry you, and do you think that impacts the safety? I know you just said it's the safest way to travel, but after looking at all these mishaps, a lot of people are very nervous. Do these cuts affect you?
The cuts do not affect us, Gail. I've been in close communication with the Secretary of Transportation. I understand that the cuts at this time are something that are raising questions, but the reality is there's over 50,000 people that work at the FAA, and the cuts, I understand, were 300 people, and they were in non-critical safety functions. The Trump administration has committed to investing deeply in terms of improving the overall technologies that are used in the air traffic control systems and modernizing the skies. They've committed to hiring additional controllers and investigators and safety investigators. So no, I'm not concerned with that at all.
I wish I could talk to you guys about the systems and they could build systems right now with AI that could literally get rid of towers.
And they
could literally have a traffic system that had zero to do with human beings, and it would be so much safer. It would be unbelievable. Hell, that you can have pilots one day that you hit a button and the AI takes you from point A to point B.
Whatever we need to do so that there's no crashes.
Yeah, and
no
that's
planes
where,
upside down.
But the archaic nature of our politics today is that there's not the people who are running our country are just not smart enough to run our country. Because the technology, these are
all industries that need to be addressed and changed. We've talked with Kevin Malunick, the owner of Strategic Air Services, where we broadcast live. He's like, the system is archaic.
It is archaic. And these are people who have been babysitting the same government since 1930. And the 1930s, and we're putting paperwork in a damn lime cave somewhere, or some kind of a cave to protect our retirees. That's insane. That's insane. We have an archaic system in the FAA for instrument landing services. We have an archaic system for air traffic control with the big, sweeping radars that show you where the planes are in the sky. Are you kidding me? An AI robot could do that in like a nanosecond. So what you're seeing here is and I'll go back to this. I've said it before. If I'm a developer, if I'm a house flipper, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going, in its day, that used to be beautiful. Let's tear it down because we can't use it anymore. There's too many brown recluse in the attic. There's too many fire hazards. The asbestos is going to get us. The house has got so many nails popping up from the floorboard. We're done. The property's great, but we're going to have to start over. That's what Trump's doing. We are in the first phase where you come in with the hard hats and you just start knocking everything down.
Yeah, we need.
And there's
Trump
a
for
lot
about
of
15
protesters.
years.
There's a lot of people that jump in front of those bulldozers trying to keep the bulldozers from coming in. But ultimately, the bulldozers roll and they start ripping crap down. The next phase is going to be, how do we bring the thing back up? And the last phase, when he's flown out of here on Air Force or Marine One on the last day in office, he's going to be able to look around and go, damn, we kicked ass.
Yeah, and hopefully we're
Good
able
luck,
to
Elon.
JD,
JD,
whoever.
Christine Nome. I just gave you
DeSantis.
Yes. Take a 4-year vacation. I just did the whole thing for you. But no, that's what you're seeing right now.
Barron.
That's what you're seeing when you see the crybabies on MSNBC.
Oh my God, there's so much.
All
everywhere.
they are the kids that don't want their houses blown up and they're sitting in front of the bulldozers as all the construction crews are arriving.
It's about money. They get their payments. Things are changing now. I love it. Speaking of changing,
Did you think you would have this much fun?
yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yes,
I didn't.
I absolutely did.
I didn't.
The wall is being built now too. Construction's actually going.
No, I
on.
was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it is.
Are they starting to put that thing up?
Construction.
They
is
need
going
to
up. It's
double
going
time
up.
it.
Yeah,
They need to double time it.
Well,
They need to
that
double time it.
in combination, because I mean, hell, you have we need to play, Joe, play the Democratic senator from Arizona from this last week, literally saying the quiet part out loud as the wall continues to go up right now, literally talking about what they're trying to do with these illegals that they have here now.
Please correct me if this is incorrect. You want non-citizens to be counted in terms of determining the representation for elected officials here at the Capitol, and by extension, I assume the U.S. Capitol as well. Is that incorrect?
Mr. Chair, I mean, it is absolutely correct.
Let the record reflect then that you just said it was correct that you want non-citizens to be counted for representation.
Mr. Chair, that is in fact the current interpretation of that clause in the Constitution that talks about counting the people in the United States.
Wrong.
That is the job of the U.S. Census.
I do appreciate an honest Democrat because you're saying the quiet part out loud.
And Mr.
To
Chair,
that point? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So yeah, Article 1, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution gives U.S. Congress the responsibility to conduct the census. The scope is defined as census counts every resident in the United States. Do you believe that undocumented people are residents?
I believe that undocumented people right now are being deported in mass numbers because they aren't legally supposed to be here. And so no, I do not believe that our founders intended for non-citizens, who we've had 10 to 20 million over the last 4 years enter illegally into this nation at the hands of the Biden regime, the Democrats.
Here we go. So
I do not believe that they should be counted in terms of determining representation here at the Arizona legislature or in any state legislature for that matter, or for the U.S. Congress.
Yeah.
What
This
else
is
do you need to
actually
know?
happening in Arizona. You have total hypocrisy with these people. They're trying to do it. That's why.
Again, this is when you put the medicine on your face and you don't want zits anymore and the pus starts to come out. That's what this is. You put the medicine on your face and all of a sudden your face starts to leak. And this is what is happening is all of a sudden they're saying the quiet part out loud.
It's the snake's body writhing.
Right?
And,
Do you understand the analogy?
Off. Yep.
You can't, if you want to get better, you're going to
They're
have
illegal. They're undocumented.
All
They're
it is
illegal.
This. Look, here's the deal.
Illegal.
Here's the deal. The census is there, so we know how much money to allocate to people for schools and to figure out where the lines are for voting and all that stuff. That's what the census is for. You should count American citizens, not vagrants, not loiterers, not people who are burglarizing our country. You're not here legally. If you were to come in on an airplane and get to the TSA or to get through the you would be sent back because you don't have the right paperwork to get in the country. Well, why is it if you just walk across a desert, everything's kosher? Not only that, you're going to get $100,000 a year because that's what it costs to house these illegal aliens. So you can either come in on a plane, try to get through customs. Customs is going to turn you away. Remember that Tom Hanks movie where he had to live in the airport? What was the Tom Hanks movie where he came in and he didn't have his right paperwork?
I don't talk about Tom Hanks anymore.
Well, we shouldn't do that. But you know what I'm talking about. But why is it you can go into an airport and you don't have your right paperwork and you're not allowed out of the airport? But if you walk across a desert in Texas, they send you to a luxury hotel in New York City. This is what I'm talking about. None of it makes sense. So the answer to this ridiculous woman is no, the census should not count this.
But we used to have an evil little angry elf who would come in and spew stuff like that in the afternoon, though, Eric. There are surprisingly a lot of people who think that is real and true.
Did you ever, whenever I go to like a Marshall's, or I would go to a TJ Maxx, or I would go to, just because I'd be bored on a Saturday and I'd go there. Why not? I always saw illegal families didn't speak a lick of English. And I wasn't judging. I was just watching. They always came dressed to the nines, and they all had bags filled with stuff. And I'm like, so you're telling me you're coming here from Guatemala or Central America with nothing, just that what's on your back, and now you somehow have all of this disposable income just to go and get your family $200 pair of shoes, every single one of them. And I always wondered what in the hell is going on there. What kind of a debit card have they given these people to run the debt even more?
Well, that whatever the good life was, or the good living, Eric, it's over. The taxpayer funded.
It needs to be.
Help has now been eliminated. Heck, Donald Trump signed an executive order yesterday taking taxpayer money away from the illegals and
Terminal
help.
Thank you.
Thank God he did it. Also, Terminal. Also, when it comes to the illegals being here, the electorals changed. CNN even did that again 2 days ago. Donald Trump has changed the total electorate in this country. It now favors conservatives, and it's changed over 8 years, which is just phenomenal. Also, an update too. The meeting that was supposed to take place between Vladimir Zelensky and Trump's envoy has been canceled after a meeting. So they're not going to meet anymore. They were supposed to meet today to talk peace, and the meeting has been canceled. That's all we have as an update right now regarding that. So
I think Zelensky has to take a few minutes to see how he's going to reapproach Trump. That I wouldn't want to go in the room with him right now after saying all that stuff. Mr. President, we just want to be part of these discussions. I tell you what.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who canceled it and why.
You got to figure it was Trump. I mean, if I guess it would be like 60-40 Trump, right?
Well, I think Zelensky backed out before, like it
For
was
what reason?
originally. I don't know what the reason was.
If the principal says come to the office, you make your way up to the principal's office.
Right. I believe Zelensky backed out. He was the first one. Yeah.
I don't know.
And another update, when you were talking about your airplane situation, Eric, the Toronto flight that went upside down. Thankfully, nobody passed away. Delta did offer each person $30,000. I didn't know about
For what? For flipping upside down on the run?
They offered 30,000. If they offered
Take it.
30, they'd probably pay 300.
For what? For what? I didn't even know there were guarantees.
for putting them in harm's way, I guess.
Here's the deal. Here, I don't care about the money. I would love to know about the flight crew. Were they 21?
Well,
there's a lot of DEI discussion.
You want to know about the flight crew?
Yeah.
This is a fact. There's speculation that the flight crew is an all-female flight crew. Not that females can't fly planes, but this is where you get into the nitty-gritty of it. The pilot had received her license only 1 month ago before that situation.
Okay. Her captain's license.
Is that how you prefer?
I don't know how that works. Commercial license.
I'm looking
so you have
at a
commercial.
copy. Date of issue, January 9th, 2025. Her airline transport pilot.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That was a Pilot Air. That thing was coming down way too fast.
No, it was a Pilot
man.
Air. Everybody says it was a Pilot
They
Air.
they destroyed that
All the
landing gear, and they
experts.
luckily just flipped over on their ass.
And as we were told by the owner of Strategic Air Services here, where we broadcast live out of, thankfully the fuel went with the wing and away from the plane. Or
Well, it got caught up in the snow.
Yeah, or everybody
It
would have
wasn't
had an issue.
It wasn't a flat surface, so the snow kind of kept it at bay, away from that plane, or else it would have blown up and taken half of the people out of it. But no, here's what you got to worry about, Vic. Everybody that's listening, if you walk on your plane and you see a white-haired gentleman, and he's sitting there at the cockpit door, there's better than a 90% chance he was in some kind of combat, or he was on an aircraft carrier, or he was flying for the military, or whatever it was. Say thank you, because those guys have complete and utter control of those aircraft. I'm telling you right now, if you're an airline hiring all female crews and they're 24 years old, and yes, they might have had 200 safe landings, you do not have enough experience on that plane to be 100% accurate on every single landing. I'm sorry, you just don't. You need a lot of training for that. You need a lot of heads up learning, a lot of visual.
Yeah, they said the runway was dry, by the way.
The runway had nothing to do with it.
I know.
The runway had nothing to do with it. The runway, it looked like they were on what is called a visual approach. The ILS, the Instrument Landing Services, was not in working. So they were doing this all by hand. And for some reason, that runway, they just did not have the visual on the end of that runway, and it just came down way too fast.
Yeah, it was another one of those stories that we were talking about. We'll continue to keep everybody updated with those stories. By gosh, and then there was another plane crash on top of it. But whatever, I'm just grateful. Story of today was, again, what Doge continues to do. And we're going to get more updates on all of that coming out today as well. By the way, Vance is speaking right now. He's over at CPAC, and he was basically warning Europe. You follow the lead of Joe Biden into censorship and mass migration. Follow the lead of Donald J. Trump. That's free speech, borders, and sovereignty. That is the future of our shared civilization. That is a message that was just delivered by J.D. Vance. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And of course, today at 12:45 Central Time, Kash Patel's final vote. Anything else on your mind, Eric, today?
There's so much. There's so much you watch there's so much news that you have to literally flip between all the news channels just to get it, because one correspondent is talking about one thing. Once that's over, you go to the next news channel. There's just so much crap. I didn't know they were starting that wall again. You just
videos out.
You filled me on that.
Construction is ongoing.
The lesson from the last wall build is they were going too slow. I don't know what you need to do to speed
Get
that
it up
process
fast.
up. You need to speed that up now.
And walls work. Walls work. When they're put in the right way, walls work.
I mean, walls work around stadiums. I don't know why they wouldn't work around a country.
And real quick, too, from the chat line, Stephanie says her husband's an airplane mechanic for almost 40 years. He says 95% of plane crashes are Pilot Air.
That was totally Pilot Air. Yeah. It all comes down to a switch not being flipped, or to flying in turbulent weather that the plane can't handle, or being in a crosswind that the plane can't handle, or visual is the worst.
Yep. Cash in. Up next, Epstein. Get the popcorn ready, because that would be interesting when we get to see those things.
Wouldn't you love to see the Gantt chart inside of the White House? Say, what's coming up next? Oh, Epstein. Look at that. Is that 2 weeks from now? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Closing the IRS doors. That is what, that's 28 months away. Okay. That's good. I'll be there for that one. Maybe we can make a big museum out of it. An Eddie Van Halen museum. Because we need one.
Oh my God. By the way, we're grateful for our advertisers and sponsors. We tell you about Century Water all the time. There's no better water system, purification system in the world that takes out everything. Chlorine, fluoride, takes out your heavy metals, arsenic, chromium-6. It takes out the vaccines, the medications in the water. And yes, those are in your water. Makes your water alkaline, which means no acid. Oh yeah, and then it provides oxygen through a natural occurring process. No electricity needed to do that. And it has calcium and magnesium in it. Eric and I use it. It's amazing. You're not going to find a better water system in the world anywhere. You truly get hydrated. Your skin looks better. You feel better. You go to the bathroom less. and it's great for your pets as well. Try it out. Literally, we've told you about this. Just over $300, 15 minutes to put in under your sink. That's it. And as I say, there's a reason why not one person has ever returned the system, because it works. It absolutely works. Hydration20.com. 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 That's where you go to get your water system today. Hydration20.com.
You know what's so funny is eventually it's going to be mandatory that every house has one of these filters in it. Do you realize that, right?
You know, I had an
the
email.
water's getting that bad.
I had an email yesterday from a guy who has a different system, not as good as the Century system, one trying to go around the country saying the exact same thing. An email, hey, would you do an interview with Dr. Choi Satatu or something?
Yeah.
Because of the water system in America.
Yeah. It's that bad. I mean, it's like, so you're building your house out, and let's say you're doing a custom build, it's like, okay, it's time for you to choose your water filter. Which one do you want? Wait a minute, I don't want any. Well, yeah, it's against the law not to have one of these filters in here. That's how bad the damn water is, man. Yeah, it's amazing. I've been without my water filter now because it's in another house for like the last week, and it's freaking me out because I'm not drinking water out of the refrigerator anymore. It's not going to happen.
You shouldn't.
I
You
can't
shouldn't do it. Don't
Can't
do it. Check it out. If you guys don't believe us, just try it out for yourselves. Hey, also, I want to give a shout out to show sponsor Rockwood Charcoal. If you're going to grill, you want to use the most natural stuff you can. We're worried about your health. You don't want a bunch of fillers inside the charcoal. Rockwood's the best you're going to find. The best charcoal is made in the state of Missouri, and that starts with Rockwood. You can get it at Ace Hardware. Once again, Ace Hardware. And once again, if you don't believe us, take a brand that's not Rockwood. Try one of those little charcoals. Squeeze it. You can't. It's because it's filled with filled with fillers. Rockwood, you squeeze it and it breaks apart in your hand. Try it out. One of the best sandwich shops around is Capriati's. It starts with the ingredients, the Wagyu beef, the fresh roasted turkeys. They slice and dice them fresh every freaking morning.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it all the time. Chili or the Philly cheesesteak. Yummy, yummy, yummy stuff.
Yep.
They get it going on at Capriati's 9 to 9 every day. If you're looking for catering, give them a shot. Tell them you appreciate them doing some advertising on cancelthisshow.com. Capriati's, check it out. Real estate market could be turning around. You want to have your plan in place. For that, you go to Megan Livingstone, Megan.Livingstone at exprealty.com, Megan.Livingstone at exprealty.com, 314-249-1708. We are grateful for you guys jumping in and helping us as you possibly can. We appreciate any donations at cancelthisshow.com. And any ideas for other advertisers, just let us know. Eric, where are you guys playing this weekend?
No, I'm on another hiatus for a month.
Wow.
I know.
You guys slowing down?
Or
Or is it that time of year?
I think that everybody just wanted to take a little bit of a hiatus. I think there was a burnout that was starting to happen, and it was like, look, we'll play a couple times a month and we'll be done for a while. So
there you go.
But coming back in the spring and summer.
All right, there you go. Got to refresh the battery.
Uh-huh.
I understand how it goes. Pro Joe, we appreciate it as always. Eric Johnson, Vic Faust, guys, thanks for coming in today. We'll see you again on Monday, and thanks for supporting cancelthisshow.com. Have an awesome day. We'll catch up with you next time.
Yeah.